Test, check, mic check. All right, here we go, and we're live. Welcome to another episode of the Cast&Blast podcast. I'm your host, Pinche Ben. Joining me is my co-host, Jimmy Trent.
What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? Pretty good, I hope.
I'm doing pretty good, Jimmy. Thanks for asking.
I'm doing good today, too. I think it's getting hot, though, but we got something today.
Summer's
here, man.
Summer's here, bro.
Summer's here. What's the beginning of summer to you? Like, what marks that begin? I know there's the summer solstice and, you know, the beginning of summer, but to me, what we have coming up is kind of what marks the first day of summer to me. Memorial Day. Today, we got a Memorial Day special kind of lined up. So as you can look at your calendars, you see Memorial Day coming up last Monday, I think 26th this year. So we want to get this in because Memorial Day is something special to us. So
Memorial Day it kind of hits different for us. As you know, we've said that, you know, Jimmy and I have served together. We had the pleasure of serving alongside heroes that have made the ultimate sacrifice. So we try to do our best to remember them on Memorial Day. And Memorial Day means different things to a lot of people, but we're here to remind you what it means. Unlike Veterans Day, where you're going around telling people, you know, thank you for your service, which we appreciate that patriotism and appreciate that kind of support.
Yeah, that's a good point. You do get that on Veterans Day.
Yeah. But maybe Memorial Day isn't exactly the day to say thank you for your service, because it's not about us.
That's not what it's
not about the servicemen and women. It's not about the veterans. It's about those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
And they often get confused.
That's right.
But, you know, it's not in a bad way. No, there's no ill harm or no ill intent there, but it just gets confused. So maybe we can help clear that up a bit.
Yeah, so my question to you is, how far back does Memorial Day, you know, I mean, we can go into specifics, or I say we won't go into specifics of when it started being observed as a federal holiday. Who cares, right? I mean, I guess it's not who cares, but who cares as far as, like, what day you got off? I don't care about that. But what started Memorial Day?
Well, I mean, Memorial Day, when you hear the word memorial, what do you think of, right? Kind of a memorial. But what makes that memorial be a memorial? Well, you're thinking of somebody or something for a specific reason. And in this case, it's those that have come before us that have fallen, you know, in battle, fallen in combat. And I think it dates back all the way like to the mid-ish 1800s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even Memorial Day, if I remember correctly. I think it was something like Decoration Day or...
I got something here. I'll read a little bit. I don't want to read too much, but it goes all the way back to, like you said, Decoration Day was something that they were doing right after the Civil War. So the Civil War is over. 1865. It was actually May 1st that the first accounts of this Decoration Day.
Yeah.
Civil War is over, and everyone's grieving for the loss of the soldiers.
And there was a lot of loss.
There was a lot. What is not really talked a lot about in history is Decoration Day. We hear a lot about Memorial Day, but Decoration Day is super interesting because the Civil War is over, and on this day, a group of newly freed African Americans marched to a racetrack in South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. This racetrack during the Civil War was transformed into a prison.
Yeah. And
that prison marked a mass gravesite where they essentially had a bunch of Union soldiers in captivity there. Mm-hmm. And there was a mass grave. And the loved ones of these, just the community in the whole, there was newly freed African Americans, missionaries. There were children, school children, everything. They all got together. They marched to this site where they knew there was a gravesite, a mass gravesite. And they said, hey, we're going to honor these people in the most respectful way. We're going to pull them out of that gravesite, put them in individual graves, and we're going to decorate their graves and honor them. Yeah. And that was Decoration Day. That was the first observed Decoration Day. And that's pretty amazing.
That is amazing, yeah. Community to come together like that, too. And the impact that it has had throughout, the years and kind of morphed into what it is now, Memorial Day is now. But what it's morphing into is a lot of times people are forgetting what exactly Memorial Day is.
So let's fast forward. May 30th, 1868. This is Arlington National Cemetery. Then General James Garfield, which later became the 20th president of the United States.
El Presidente.
Pretty cool, man. So this general stood in front of everyone there that was there to honor both Union and Confederate soldiers that were buried at the National Cemetery. There was 20s of thousands of graves or grave sites there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Have you been?
No, I haven't had a chance.
It's a somber experience.
I have friends that are there, and I need to go visit them.
Yeah.
I have something there on my Stetson that's in memory of their run to go. Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about that. But on this day, General James Garfield said an infamous quote. That infamous quote reads, "We do not know one promise these men made, one pledge they gave, one word they spoke, but we do know they summed up the perfected by one supreme act, the highest virtues of men and citizens."
That hits, huh?
That is saying these men in battle gave the ultimate sacrifice, and they represented the best that our country, unified and divided. At that time, it was a very divided country. At the biggest division in our country's history.
Yeah.
And that spoke volumes across the world, really, to show what represented in that battle. And those men were then honored by the families going out and decorating their graves, man. 20,000 plus graves that they went and spent and celebrated and honored both Union and Confederate. Put politics aside, put all that aside. Let's just go honor the fallen. I think that's pretty awesome. Now fast forward. There's new wars. They lead to new perils, new loss.
We got WW1, World War I, II, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War, OIF, OEF. I mean, you think about how many wars we have been in.
So on and so forth.
So on and so forth. It's
just continuously etching more names into granite, remembering those that have fallen and given the ultimate sacrifice.
And that's what Memorial Day is.
That is what Memorial Day is. Those names belong to a brother, a father, a son, a sister, a mother, a loved one, a friend. Those names will never be forgotten. It is important to us to never let those names be forgotten.
Don't let them die. Don't let the names die. Don't let the memories die. Don't let any of that die. That is what Memorial Day is for.
Sorry, man. Trying to get it.
Yeah, I know. Let's have a drink, Ben.
To the fallen.
To the fallen.
All right.
Woo.
As I collect myself, apologies. Sorry, not sorry.
It hits, man. There's
We've had to sit through many roll calls where names were not answered. And that sound simply just
it's not just a trumpet playing.
no, man. We've seen the flag covering our friends on their way home. And we thought, I know this is a fishing and hunting podcast, but we said, hey, as we were getting ready to get out and plan our weekend and do all those things, we said, hey, I think it's only right that we take some time to honor what this weekend is about.
Yeah, we were planning our next podcast, and that's what, like, hey, we got Memorial Day coming up, and for some, it's a day off work, it's a day on the water, it's a day, grilling on the barbecue, which it is for us too.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
but there's a reason why
there's
we're
a
enjoying
reason.
that.
Yeah, there's a reason that you can do that. There's a reason you have the freedom to have that beer. There's a reason you have the freedom to throw those hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever you're throwing on the grill. And that's what we don't want to get, lost in the murkiness of what Memorial Day really is.
Yeah, it's not just about sales on linens and mattresses, is it?
No, but I am going to try to get a Memorial Day recliner sale going on.
So, to lighten up the mood, we had our moment of silence, and I think that was pretty cool. I think it's owed to those that have made the ultimate sacrifice. We've done that. We had our time to sit there and remember them, and it never goes away.
And that's so very little to do. And that's something we can ask anybody, whether you see this, on long form, you're watching it live right now, or if it's clipped into a short later, whatever the case is, on Memorial Day, just take 30 seconds out of that day. Just take it.
I think 3 p.m., no matter where you are, you're supposed to take 1 minute.
But at least...
Just take 1 minute of silence and
just
honor
something.
those.
Just take it. Yeah, just...
To many of you that are watching, you have a loved one that has made the ultimate sacrifice, that has been a peril of war. And if you don't, someone who's been affected by it.
We said it 100 times. We served together. We were in combat together. When I say that, I do want to preface that Ben and I both, we're not some type of combat war heroes or anything like that. Matter of fact, we're both in aviation. We're both, aviation maintainers, aircraft mechanics. So we weren't guys in there kicking in doors, and seeing a lot of the stuff that some of our other brethren and sisters were, but we did go through our fair share of I'm going to say, Haji shenanigans,
Yeah, I mean, we were on missions that required us to leave the wire. We were supporting units that were constantly outside the wire, doing what you're talking about, kicking down doors.
I just want to say that
that wasn't us.
That wasn't us.
We're not claiming to be that, but with that, you suffer the perils of that conflict, and you cannot escape. There is no escape the impact.
No.
Whether it's indirect fire coming down from the sky and we don't know which direction it's coming from.
I'd rather have direct fire than indirect fire.
Whether it's, our brothers and sisters being shot down from the sky and those kinds of, crazy experiences that we got to witness and recover and get through that and continue the mission.
So, with that, let's talk about some of that. So, we want to share with everybody out there kind of who we are, what we've done. Maybe talk about
a different side.
A different side, because we talk about,
there's more to it than just being a freaking badass angler and outdoorsman.
I mean, come on. Can't do everything that good, right?
Yeah, but there's a different side to us.
Yeah, there is a different side, and we both had some of the best times of our life and the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and it could be in the same day, it could be in the same hour. It's so crazy how the emotional roller coaster that you're on constantly, and the wear and tear. That sounds crazy to say, oh, emotional roller coaster, and it's wear and tear on your body, but it absolutely is. When you're doing that shit and you're going up and down every day on that emotional roller coaster, it does wear on you. And we'll talk about the ups and the downs
and the other impacts of being downrange and all that stuff. Who else it impacts? Your family behind. And shout out to our wives that have endured that, being here and stuff. I just wanted to start this off today with remembering Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And we're here. Memorial Day is coming out, and you're getting ready. Like you said, we were planning on, what fishing are we going to get into this weekend? We got, some work to do out on the ranch. We're planning that, and we're saying, hey, this is a perfect weekend to do that. And then when we looked at the calendar, dude, we were like, oh
yeah, we got memorable Memorial Day.
So, how about we do this? I want to do something right now while people are watching. If you want to honor somebody, put their name in the comments. There's nothing wrong with saying their name.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
nothing wrong with keeping their name alive. There's nothing wrong with keeping their memory alive. I'll drop 2 names off the top of my head right now. And I'm going to say Jason DeFren and Keith Yoakum.
Yeah.
They just named the airfield here at Fort Cavazos, the main airfield on Fort Cavazos, after those 2 guys. I was honored to serve with those 2 gentlemen. They were stellar individuals. And only 2 guys I know that would beat me out to the aircraft to go troubleshoot. Those guys were, they, hey, this aircraft's broken, we're getting out there. Those 2 guys have a heroic story. I urge you to look them up on the internet. You'll find
not only look it up, but where could you find that story? You can hear it, you can see it.
There's a published film. Released film on almost all social media or all social networks. What are they? Platforms? Media platforms?
It's on Amazon.
Tubi, whatever you want to do, look it up. Look up The Longest Month. It honors those individuals and others, just to name a few. It honors them so well, and it's probably one of the best docu-films that, and I'm not just saying that because my friends in my unit, and I'm in it. If you look good enough, you can see me in it. But it's not about me today, it's about them. But go check it out. The Longest Month. You'll find out that was during the time where we all got extended in Iraq, and it was just all hands on deck.
I'm getting goosebumps.
There was a reason and a big fight that it went down in the history books, and we were part of it, and those individuals will go down in infamy.
And never be forgotten.
So cheers to those guys.
Cheers.
Like I said, put a name in the comment. I'd love to hear and see, who you're remembering on Memorial Day. And there's probably a whole bunch that you can say, but there's nothing wrong with that, man.
Do you remember being deployed on Memorial Day? And when I say that, there's multiple deployments in there, but certain holidays, right? I mean, obviously you're going to remember the Thanksgivings, the Christmases, the birthdays that you missed, the anniversaries. But did you ever slow down and think when it was Memorial Day, when you were deployed in a combat environment?
If I'm being honest, I don't think I had time.
You don't have time, right?
I don't think I remember doing that. I remember, in fact, quite the opposite. And let me explain. Specifically, the day we lost those 2 individuals. I'll never forget, February 2nd. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. That's when we first heard. It was 2007. I'm walking into the hangar.
Yeah.
The word is starting to get around.
Pulling that 7 to 7 shift.
7 to 7. I'm walking in, and Just got back from breakfast chow. I'm walking in. You know me, I'm a loud and boisterous guy. I walk in that hangar. Everybody knows I'm at work.
And always coming happy and jolly and smiling and ready to go. Yeah, bring the morale up.
Come in and I hear that news, and everything changed immediately. But what I noticed was the mission didn't stop. As a matter of fact, we picked up.
Mm-hmm.
We ramped up.
Yep.
We're sending more aircraft out there. We're loading, and we're sending them out heavy. We're putting them out there to go retaliate, so to speak. And to dive into a little bit of what they did, they were getting shot at, and their sister aircraft was getting shot at. They ended up taking a catastrophic, hit.
Yep.
On their tail boom, losing tail rotor authority and all that, So before they knew that the aircraft was actually on fire and compromised, they knew what they had to do, and they went down guns a-blazing, fighting the enemy and taking the fight to them, saying, "Hey, we're not going to let them shoot another one of our aircraft."
You're exactly right. So they got hit, and they knew that they were hit hard, but they said, "You know what? You hit me. You gave me a black eye, but game's over for you." And They got back in the fight, and it sadly was hit a little more. There was a little more damage than what was initially known. Yeah.
Right. And obviously, when you're flying a helicopter, you can't assess the damage.
Yeah.
Even someone flying next to you can't really tell exactly how severe the.
I remember that day too. I was in a different battalion. We were two different battalions. We were sister battalions to each other. But it's still a very small community, and we all worked on the same flight line, all next to each other.
Yeah, we
ate together. Yeah. We slept together in the same, housing compound areas.
Yeah.
Ate at the same defects. Worked on the same flight lines. Like it was.
And it's like Groundhog Day, Walking Dead. Everyone walking past each other, just like every day. You're just passing each other. You're leaving work. Someone's going to work. They're leaving tired. You're coming in tired.
Yep.
Dragging your feet. They're dragging their feet. You're just kind of going, and it's like
Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Autopilot, man.
Yeah.
And it's, we work 12-hour shifts, but we work much later.
That 12-hour shift turns into 14 to 16 hours real quick. And especially when the op-tempo's up and there's missions going on back to back to back to back. I mean, you're out there pulling in some hours, getting extensions after extensions.
So it's we're talking about remembering the fallen. But you can remember the fallen. There's a time everyone grieves differently, man. That's what I'm getting at. You'll see us thinking, and I know.
I do remember one specific Memorial Day there. I was up on the aft swash plate of a CH-47 Chinook working on it, and where I was working, it's really tight, confined, and I was trying to do lock wire on the dust seal bolts. And for anybody out there that's ever done that knows that it's a pain in the ass. So I'm contorted my body up in there, and I'm working, and I got somebody out there working with me, helping me. They ran back into the shop to get some I don't know some more tools or something, and I heard somebody climb up the aircraft, and I thought it was my buddy. So I'm up there and I can't see it. I'm trying to do this and I'm just cussing. I'm like, oh, this, just hot. It's probably 120 degrees outside. Yeah. And I don't hear any response. I don't hear anything. And then so I yell at my buddy. I'm like, yo, I need those needle nose or whatever. Can you hand that to me? And then I hear this familiar voice, and it was our brigade sergeant major. And for the life of me, I can't remember his name on that deployment.
What year was it?
2000, same deployment.
2007?
Yeah. Sparks?
No.
Something? I can't remember his name. Long story short, he climbed up in there.
It means we stayed out of trouble that year.
Yeah, we stayed. Yeah. Yeah. Sergeant Major Vila, if you ever watch this.
That's a different name.
That's a different name, yeah.
You'll never forget mine.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this dude climbed up there, and he heard me just having a hell of a time and having a bad day. And he kind of let me finish. He spoke. I heard that voice. I knew who it was. And I was like, oh, shit, Sergeant Major, I'm sorry, this, that, whatever. And he's like, no, it's cool. It's cool. I'm just kind of out making my rounds. And I just want to remind everybody it's Memorial Day. Take 30 seconds out of your day.
Respect.
And respect it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's one very vivid memory I have of Memorial Day out there, and that meant something to me.
That's so weird, man. Because like I can't think of someone stopping. I'm sure honestly, man. We got some kind of brain damage or something because there's memory blocks that you and I have talked about.
Yeah, there's some fog. Like everything meshes together. You don't know.
There's things that we can't recollect unless someone tells us.
Yeah, if somebody starts talking about an event, and then you're like, oh yeah.
So I don't know what that is. Maybe some kind of trauma is blocking it out. I don't know. But I was getting at you grieve in different ways, and sometimes you laugh and you can cry, all that stuff, and I'm thinking about these individuals and my eyes light up. You know what I mean? Because I remember there's more to them than that, than their heroic effort.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
First of all, you said it when you read it. There's someone's mom. I mean, someone's father, someone's son, someone's brother, someone's everything. They are somebody's world.
And these guys were kind of seniors. They were that for us.
Yeah.
When we're out there, that's your dad, that's your mom, that's
exactly.
When you're in pain, they're hugging you and getting you through it. I mean, I don't know if people know that. Like, when we're downrange, like you're my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, you're my confidant, all that stuff. I'm coming to you and you're kind of getting me through it. Whether there's things going on at home and I'm telling you, like, man, the wife just spent $40,000 on a curtain, man. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You're giving me a hug to console me and be like, hey, man, let me help you.
I'm going through the same thing. So did my wife. We'll figure it out together.
Yeah, but thank God neither one of our wives spent that. But
the ex.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But, I mean, these guys were that for us. They were the guys that were cutting up on the flight line, trying to keep you, your spirits up. They were the guys that were, when you're tired, they're like, hey, focus on what we're doing. We got this. We're working on this for a reason. Well, they were that.
When you're deployed, you very quickly, one, you're already close. You're already close prior to deployment. I mean, you all work together, but you go home to your own family and stuff. When you're deployed, you go home to your trailer, your tent, your whatever you have, but you don't go home. There's no one there. Your peers, your mentors, your seniors, peers, and subordinates alike, they're no longer that. They're family.
Yeah.
Like, you take care of each other. There's no one else to hold your hand. There's no one to give you that hug when you need it. There's no but each other. And that's how it's not just friendships or, when they say brotherhood, right? There's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, just a very meaningful grip of friendship, which is more than friendship that you can't even explain.
It's an unbreakable bond.
It's an unbreakable bond that lasts forever. There's people, okay, you and I, for example, we didn't talk for 12 years. We didn't even speak or see of each other for 12 years. It took us one phone call.
Yeah.
We got back together.
Where you at? I'm there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Where you at? I'm there.
And I talk to you more than I talk to my own wife.
Same. And that probably drives them crazy, especially when we're talking about fishing after we went fishing.
Let me ask you this. If it hadn't been that we went through the same shit at the same time together, would we have ever even been friends?
Yeah. We talk about this a lot. Just the people that the people that we're brothers in arms with. Half of the people, those individuals, different walks of life, different backgrounds.
Yeah.
We would have walked right past each other
and
never said a word to each other. Not because of differences or anything, like it's just the way it is.
I just talked to a buddy the other day. Hadn't talked to him in years. Called me up on the phone. Hey, man, blah, 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 blah. Dude, we didn't miss a lick. It's like we talk to each other on the phone every day. And that's what I love about it is there's no expectations of you have to do something for me, I have to do something for you. No, it's just a phone call, man. That's it. A phone call, a text, and you are right back to that unbreakable bond like you were saying.
Yeah. Sometimes that can be a blessing and a curse.
That's a fact. It can be, yeah.
We're talking about losing friends in combat. How many friends have we lost to the war that continued after we got back?
Yeah.
And how many friends?
Yeah, it never stops.
I carry something with me that nobody knows.
I think everybody does in a certain capacity. I don't know that if you're going to share that or not. That's completely up to you. But you're not alone, is what I'm saying. I think everybody carries something with them.
I think it's therapeutic to talk about it.
I carry something with me along those lines too that I don't know that it's even okay to talk about yet, because there are still people in uniform that. I don't know, statute of limitations are there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can tell you a scenario. I can't tell you names. And a lot of people that know me would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think
but they're still in uniform. Yeah. And some of the leaders are too. So
I'm going to dive into what I'm about to share with somebody, and I don't know why I'm sharing it. I just feel, I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
Might make you feel better, man. I don't know. I don't know, but it's.
I'll talk about one thing, and then I'll talk about. Okay, suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Know that you can call someone and talk to somebody.
Any time of day, anywhere, It is no ifs, ands, or buts.
It is super important to know that you can call somebody and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some, even after having that call, have already made up their mind before they make that call.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, for those of us that are still here, promise to each other that no matter when, no matter how, if you get to that point, you're going to call somebody. And I have a group of friends who we have made that commitment to each other to where we will not experience that again. I hope that remains that way for the rest of our living life.
I hope to. I do. I hope so too. I hope it does.
For some, it didn't go that way.
No, for a lot, it didn't go that way. And it's sad. It's really sad. And there are, like you said, I mean, there's so many resources and programs and everything that's out there.
I use those resources to help an individual. You know, I mean, there's suicide hotlines. There's all kinds of things. And, you know,
But sometimes it's not the point I'm making. Sometimes it's that unbreakable bond that we just talked about that is going to be the best. That's what's going to, you know.
Hey.
That's what's going to help somebody more than not always, but sometimes, you know. And there's times. Have you ever got that inkling just to call one of your buddies? You're like somebody that, you know that to kind of go into, and you just call them and you're like, something's telling me to call them. And they're like, bro, I just needed to hear somebody call me. Thank you for calling me. And you're like, man,
it's just so unfortunate that we've lost so many to that. You know what I mean? And that's not what today is about. I got it. But, you know, it's just something that really, you know, it's so.
It's heavy.
It's existent, man. And you can't, you know. I guess not talking about it be the wrong thing to do. Talk about it, man. Say, hey, man, you know, if you ever get to that point, call somebody, talk to them. And if you do talk to them, you know, use them as if you called that person, you love that individual loves you. You know what I mean? And use it, man. You know what I mean? Find a way to get yourself out of that hole. I don't know, man. Kind of took this. I will say this. That even remembering those that have fallen in combat, remembering those who have lost the battle later, there's a lot of great memories, man.
Dude, there is some great memories.
I think that's what's important, keeping those memories alive, keeping their name alive, keeping those things that made you laugh, the things that made you cry, the things that pissed you off.
I was going to say, don't forget the things that pissed you off.
You know, like...
Dude, you're dirtbag, soup sandwich, piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, man, that's a good dude. That's a good dude. It just takes, it's in the army, in the military.
You know what it is? You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family?
Yeah.
And those guys are family.
Yeah.
There's
no other way. So, I don't know.
Have you had a hard time explaining it to your family? Like
that's your family, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, gay, but your family, right?
Yeah.
some of our other friend,
Our wives,
mutual friends
know it because they experienced that. They saw the bond.
So that's
different.
That's
But imagine explaining to someone else, like, that's my family, that's my brother, that's this, right? And then they see how you love that person. I've cried for one of my brothers more than I've cried. I did in the shower, But
yeah. Nobody's seen it.
I broke down like a baby, bro. And I didn't feel that for some like family members, and nothing against my family members. I love my family, bro. I got family tattooed on me. It's part of me. It's in my fabric. But that person,
when you experience certain life moments with another human that are complete, like you're not going to experience the same life moments with your wife, your kids, your mom, your cousins, your aunt, your uncles that you will experience when you're downrange somewhere. So those experiences that you experience downrange with somebody creates that bond, and that's what it is. And you're right; it's hard to explain, and it may sound kind of like, I don't know what the right word is, but it may sound kind of dumb to some people. That if you can't understand it, then I'm sorry, you don't have a close enough friend.
First off,
if you can't understand that,
I encourage you to engage in the conversation. I encourage you to leave comments and share your feelings, your thoughts, whether good, bad, indifferent. I don't care. Let's use this as an opportunity to talk about like your experiences, how you feel, what you feel about what we're saying, all those things, because one, it opens the conversation to someone else who might be feeling the same thing and they just don't have maybe the courage to say it. Maybe somebody wants to tell us to shut up and change the subject, and someone else didn't have the courage to say it.
No balls.
Hate to tell you that's not going to change anything today. But I want you to share in the comments, like, your experiences, with this. Memorial Day, it impacts so many people around the world. Just in the Civil War, there was 20,000. How many thousands?
There was more than 20,000.
Right, but that was at Arlington Cemetery at that time.
Yeah.
Just in that one date.
Yeah.
Take that, add everything to it, and there's so many different conflicts that are not even on books.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the big...
Majority of the population has been impacted, whether it's friend, family, or someone acquaintance or something, throughout the years, you know what I mean? And when I say majority of it, of the population, so it could have been your great-grandpa, or it could have been your great-uncle or something. But somewhere down the line, everybody's been impacted by a loss of life for this country, for their freedom, for everyone else's freedom. And I think it's very important to take that time, take that notion of, like, I have enough respect that I'm going to give you that moment of silence and that thought.
Yeah.
And if you can't take that 30 seconds or 1 minute, and this is going to sound bad, you know what? I really don't give a shit. If you can't take 1 minute out of your day on Memorial Day for the people that giving you the freedom to do your daily duties of whatever it is, and
get that extra day off or whatever.
Get that extra day off. Then if you can't take that, get out of the country.
You don't deserve to be here.
Like, you.
Period.
You don't.
Say what you want to say about me. Say what you want to say about anything.
Take your ass to Somalia.
That's no politics.
That
is no left right. That is just straight. Well, I guess it is politics because I'm saying that's American. But is it politics?
That's not.
That's pride and ownership of this country.
That's it.
And there's a reason why we're proud of this country, is because people like that have made the ultimate sacrifice to give us the rights and to give us the day to celebrate.
To give us the rights to even say that.
True.
Yeah, so that we can say that.
We've been to countries where you can't say those things, where your family is assassinated, where you're assassinated, where all that stuff, for just saying, I don't like this individual, or I don't agree with them, or I don't think that's I don't align with that. People in other places.
Now, on the flip side, this is probably going to be a bit controversial too, and I don't give two shits about it either, because, well, you probably haven't seen some of the stuff that we've seen. And when I say this, I don't mean it with any ill intent, because we all fall in this category, but Americans are spoiled.
Yeah.
We're spoiled rotten.
Well, let's go back to...
They don't understand how... You don't understand what it's like to not be able to, I don't know, take a shit on porcelain.
Oh, I can tell you.
You know what I mean?
But take it to a full extreme. You're talking about like going without.
Yeah,
right?
with anything.
You don't know
clean drinking water.
Yeah, you don't know what it's like to be without. Yeah, got it. Go back to not the day after Pearl Harbor.
That's a rough day.
Where was America then?
United.
Why? Because it happened in our backyard.
Yeah, because it happened, and
that is the thing.
You're about to get me spun up, man.
That's the thing we had the privilege. We go to these places and take the fight to them, so that fight isn't here in our backyard.
Yep.
So our kids in our family never have to experience that here. But yet, you want to protest that we're over there killing babies and doing all that stuff, but that's not the case. There are casualties of war. But we're doing it so that we take the fight to them so that never happens here. Terrorist attacks, all that stuff, it does happen. Now go back, fast forward, 9/11. Where was the country after 9/11?
United.
Raising up their sleeves saying, hell no, not in my backyard. Everybody come together. That's what I mean by spoiled. Whenever it affects you and when you're impacted, all of a sudden everybody wants to be, but you know what?
Where's the patriotism when it doesn't happen? Right now, we're not at war, right? We're not in war. Is there stuff going on? There's always stuff going on.
There is.
But we're not at war. And the division and the lack of patriotism right now
is clouded by all this bullshit.
Bullshit. Dude. Nothing but bullshit. And we're at war with ourselves right now. And that's what's killing me. And that's what takes away from the fact of that's all the people that died. And we celebrate their lives on Memorial Day and we think about them. All that shit was for nothing if we can't stop fighting each other.
Dude, you
know what I mean? Like,
say it louder so they hear you in the back. You just hit it, man.
If we don't stop this shit, then we're going to go back to those. We're going to go back to that May 5th, 1865 that you talked about. We have to stop that shit.
And it's not even about race. It's not even about, all those things. We're much more divided now than we ever were. And it's political.
Bro, if you drive a Tesla...
Yeah.
If you drive a Tesla 2 years ago, you were,
conservative.
Like, thank you.
You were doing your part.
Yeah, you were doing your part and going green. And now
you're
a Nazi if you drive a Tesla. You're a fat. Like, dude, stop with the dumb shit. Stop with the dumb shit. All these people we celebrate on Memorial Day did not give that ultimate sacrifice.
They didn't give a shit about freaking Tesla.
No.
You think they gave a... Dude,
they
didn't care.
They care about what you said, keeping that shit out of your backyard, and we're going to take the fight to them. That's what they cared about, and that's
with the most like that. That is what, and we owe it to them to be the best Americans we can be.
Mm-hmm.
We owe it to them to be the best citizens we can be.
Yes,
we owe it to them to be the best, good people. Like that's how we keep their legacy alive. That's how we make sure that they didn't.
That's
die
how
in
you
vain.
honor them.
That's how we honor them. And it starts by just taking a small moment and saying, hey, thank you, man. But
stop and think for a minute.
You'll stand in line for freaking Jordan's release to come out here, and you'll go give up your whole weekend to go stand in line for the new freaking Jays to release.
You'll put up a tent for that shit. Yeah.
But you can't take freaking 1 minute.
1 minute.
On Memorial Day at 3 p.m. to just honor those.
1 minute out of a whole year.
That's what I think you mean by this country is spoiled.
Yeah. Yes.
And bring on the freaking comments because
bring them on, dude. I don't.
I think I've earned a right to say we kind of got our priorities misaligned.
Well, yeah, that and I think
that's not political.
It's not political. I think how they always say like, oh man, he's set in his ways. He's getting older, set in his ways. I think we're both at that age where we're getting a little older. We're set in our ways, and honestly, I could. If the comments come in and they're I could give two shits. I don't care what people think about me. What I care about with me is like, who am I as a person or as a human? And still that person that knocks down or that person that writes that shitty comment or says something ugly about you, if you get a flat tire, And and I'm driving down the road and I'm still gonna stop and help you.
Yeah, I know that.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know that's who you are because I've been there. My wife can tell you right now that's who I am.
That's it.
Kinda drives her nuts because I feel like I got to be the first responder to everything. But you know what? She's the same way.
Yeah.
She's the first one to get off the vehicle and go be a first responder to a bad accident.
And we've both done that
in the worst
and
times.
We didn't have to.
Yeah.
We didn't. But the bystander effect, and I've seen that happen where people just stand back and they just watch. And I don't know. So that did happen to me one time. Like you said, there was a bad accident, and I seen it happen, and I was a few cars back, and everybody just, like, people got out of their vehicles and they just stood there and looked, and I'm like, what? So I had to run up there and, like, take action, because nobody else is. What happened to this young couple that was in this car, I still don't know. But if they made it, it's not because of the people that were standing there staring at them possibly take their last breaths of life. But if they made it, it was because me and one other person helped them and helped them get out. You know what I mean? Waited as first responders came.
Just being good people, man.
Being good people, but if they, God damn, I don't know, man. People nowadays piss me off. That's what, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just think that's just the way you can represent being a good citizen, being a good American, being just, by honoring, the people.
They stand back and pull their phones out and record. Yeah, Amber, you're right. I mean, that's the new norm. That's not what the norm used to be. That's what the new norm is. And if we get complacent and let that be the norm, bro, we're spinning wheels. We're not getting any better. Like we're
kind of spinning this in a way, but in a way it's not. And here's how I'm going to tie it back into why we started this podcast. We need to honor the fallen.
Yeah.
The best way you can honor them is to be a good goddamn American.
That's what we're getting at.
Be a good citizen and just be a good neighbor to your people.
Look out for each other.
If those people can go out there in the honor of God, country, and everything that they believe in and give the ultimate sacrifice for their brothers and sisters, the least we can do is help somebody in need next to us and not just look past them and, like she's saying, pull out your phone and this and that. You're just part of the problem. Be an impact. Be part of the be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
I do want to say it's going to be in a comment somewhere, and they're going to say, well, there's been a lot of people that weren't yet Americans that died for this country.
Oh, absolutely. We know
that. Yeah. Like, and I salute them the exact same way. 100% the exact same way.
Let me back up. I salute anybody.
Yes.
Who dies for any country. Can I say that?
Yeah.
With respect.
We can even.
With respect.
Yes.
I will tell you right now, I got more respect for that individual who put on a uniform for their country and fought for their country than that freaking skinny bastard who put on a dress and fought behind women and children who didn't represent any kind of uniform military.
Yep.
I got more respect for someone who fought for their country, put on a uniform, and came to us and fought in the trenches, whether it was in World War II. And you know what I mean? Yep. I got more respect for that enemy than I have for any enemy who hides behind women and children and has no kind of
hospitals and churches, whatever it is,
and all that stuff. So I'll say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even those individuals who maybe became martyrs and all that stuff, I'm sorry, I can't connect to that. So that's a different thing. When you die for your country and you fight and dude, the soldiers in Vietnam, Korea, World War II, all those individuals, that was a uniformed enemy.
But think
a formidable enemy.
Think about the amount of unnaturalized citizens, maybe. Maybe I'm not using that word right. But, you don't have to be a citizen to come into the military.
We served with tons of guys who were not... They weren't citizens yet.
No.
And I felt like just immediately...
I really have a cool story about one from Venezuela.
I feel like you should have got that. You should have been like immediately coming into this country. You put this uniform on. I don't know. Maybe give us 2 years of good, honorable service. If I got to give as a natural born citizen, I got to give 2 years before I can become what was the award you got after 2 years of good conduct?
No, that's 3 years.
3 years. All right. Yeah. So 3 years. Give me 3 years. Give me 3 years of good conduct, and you become equally as I don't know.
You become a citizen and have the right. So, but the point I'm making is those people that did die that weren't yet citizens, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
America is so good that they died for the dream of being an American. And then we have how many Americans nowadays that are saying how bad America is. There are people that died for the thought of being able to say that they're American.
For their families and generations after them to have the same life. Like my ancestors had with... dude, I'm the American dream, dude. I live the American dream. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
My grandfather fought in World War II. Tanker. Born in Mexico. Became a U.S. citizen to try to start a life for his family. Came over here. I got his exit papers from the military where it says how many head of cattle he was responsible for. Of course, back then there weren't DD-214s, you know.
Yeah.
But I have his exit papers, and it shows like what ranch he worked on, how many head of cattle he was responsible for before he got into the military, you know, and what he had to do on the ranch, and what.
So it was almost like a resume.
A resume, so to speak. And then he entered the military. I got theaters that he was in World War II. I got all the information there, and I got all that stuff. My grandfather and 4 of his brothers all served in different theaters in World War II. His sons, my grandfather's sons, and my dad and his 4 brothers all served during Vietnam. And then my dad's son got to serve during Iraq and Afghanistan. And during that time, talk about how you mark history, bro. And I'm talking about, we don't want immigrants in our country. Yeah, you want immigration because immigration is the history of our country.
Yeah.
But do it in a way to where you can serve the country honorably, come in, do what you got to do, and then earn, you know what I mean? It's just a beautiful story because I am the product of immigration in the United States.
Yeah. What is your ethnicity?
I am American.
But what's your ethnicity?
Of Hispanic descent. Yeah.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So you're you're Hispanic.
The reason why
Mexican.
I'm saying that is because when I was in the Army, there was people that called me Mexican.
Yeah, and
I would say, I don't see a Mexican flag on my sleeve.
I'm American.
And my dad raised me that way because he was a veteran and
also an American.
And his dad was a veteran who served in this country and foreign wars and all that stuff. He said, "Hey, we go to war with Mexico right now. You're aiming center mass on them sons of bitches because I don't care if they're your primos, your cousins, or whatever, but you fight for this country. You fight for this flag." And I'm super proud of that. I will never forget my heritage. I will never forget what my descent is. I will never forget where my grandfather's from and all that stuff. I love visiting.
And the sad thing, thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers have had to do exactly what you just said. They had to go back to, where everything started for them. And there was probably cousins, uncles, aunts, that they had to fight against.
It's a super unfortunate thing, but that's the history of the world.
That's the way it is.
That's the history of the world. Like, if you told me that you want to erase history, right? I mean, that's really where we're at today. We want to erase history. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. If you don't talk about my history, just mine, you don't talk about how Spain, came into Mexico and raped and pillaged my ancestors there, right? And then we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
But that's really how I'm here. Yeah. Because the Spaniards came to Mexico and the Mexicans had war with Texans, just in my immediate area, right? And then that's all part of my history. That's part of my culture. If the Spaniards didn't come here, then I would have Spaniard lineage. If the Mexican indigenous people weren't there and they didn't have wars with the Spaniards, I wouldn't have lineage to the indigenous Mexican people.
Which you're not saying it's okay to still do that. We've evolved as humans, but
it's part of history, man.
It is part of. That's what I was going to say. But don't try to erase it. Don't try to take it away. Call a spade a spade. If that's the way it is, that's how it happened.
I'm proud of every one of those just as well, but I can't erase it. I have history in my family name alone that I'm like, dang, well, I see how,
It's crazy when you go back looking at your lineage or your family crest, this and that, and you start looking at things.
Man.
No, but
if you go back and you look hard enough, you're gonna find some dark history.
You're gonna find some dark. Everybody.
Yeah.
But that's what the bad thing is nowadays. Is a lot of folks are just out there attacking one or the other, whether you're on this side of the political chart or this side, they're attacking each other. If you're this race or this race, they're attacking each other. The point I'm making is like, ah, damn, we're all humans. Can we not find a way to get together, especially within our country? And I'm not going to talk what would be maybe world policy or
Speaking of all getting
overstretched
together,
that.
I would like to take quick time. I just want to say some shout outs here. We got some people following us. Thanks, Travis Mitchell. I'm name dropping here. I'll go first name. Amber, Sarah, Josh, David, Danny, Laura Luna. I threw her last name out there. I want everybody to know she's a day one, always hardcore following
Laura,
us.
I want to say something to Laura too while we're on here. I seen your comment on a Facebook post where somebody was asking about like, hey, what are some good podcasts, like outdoor style podcasts to watch? And you name dropped us. So Laura, thank you. I seen that. Thank you so much. That means so much to us. Ben and I talked about it, and we just want to say, virtual high five. I don't know, but thank you.
Berto Zuniga, thank you for watching. Laura says she's watching from Odessa, Texas.
Odessa.
And I don't think that's her normal stomping ground, so she must be working. So that's cool. Let us know where you're watching from. We always like to see where the reach is getting in different areas or whatnot. We are the biggest podcast in North, South, Central, West, Texas.
You forgot East.
Well, the East is
somebody else has got the East.
Yeah, dude,
we got the North, South, and
Houston. You got like Houston. Right?
Yeah, okay, all right.
Down, but we got everything else.
I'm gonna pull that Homer Simpson and just like disappear.
No, I always try to say that. I did forget East, but so North, South, East, West, Texas. That's what you got to say.
Yeah.
Leave Central out.
In the neighborhood.
Yeah. No. We enjoy doing this, and the fact of we interact with so many people from all over, different walks of life, and guess what? We end up making friends with people when they come hunt and fish with us, and we have good experiences with them, and that's what it's about. It's teaching someone else how to.
We do make a lot of friends doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we get messages and, hey, we got this going on. We'd like you to come. We'll go. They want to come out and hunt with us, and we get them on a hunt, and they come back. They become loyal clients and whatever. It's been a great time, man. It's been a good experience being part of the Cast and Blast crew, and that's what this is. That's what this podcast is. We want you to join the Cast and Blast crew. We want you to subscribe. We want you to follow. We want you to like, share, comment. We want you to be part of this. We're not doing this for you. We're doing this with you.
Yeah, not for you, with you. Yeah.
You're just as much, you're the biggest part of this journey. You're the biggest part of this podcast.
But on the real, it does get hard to do this monetarily. So if you think about it, Ben, any support, I guess what I'm trying to say, any support y'all can give us. And when I say support, it's not always monetary. If you can like, share, comment, subscribe, on some of the different platforms. Engage. If you're sending stars or whatever, all the shit that we have, it's not free. And
we did it so that you would have quality video.
Yeah, we try to come in with the best that we could, and I feel that we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, because you got a decent picture.
But we
decent audio.
We want to evolve just like everything else or everybody else. So along with that,
I walked into Joe Rogan's studio and I just took stuff.
You know what, Joe? I mean, shit. If we could just get Jamie, then we'd be good to go. You can keep everything else. We'll just take Jamie.
For those of you that don't know, Jamie is the world famous producer of
universe famous
the Joe Rogan Experience. If we could get a fraction of that kind of producer here at the Cast and Blast crew, we would be in business. As you know, we're literally live producing here, me going back and forth and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they've probably seen it. Y'all seen us have that dramatic walk back in?
It's because I had to leave the producer station and come to the table.
We're trying.
We have fun. We're trying to do the best we can within our ability, within our skill set. We didn't know how to even make a Facebook post when we first started this, and here we are.
I had to Google how to get on YouTube before we started.
Well, we found out that you can watch YouTube without subscribing. I found that out the hard way. Yeah, what? you can watch someone's YouTube channel or watch their video.
Yeah,
but
without
you don't have to subscribe.
Yeah.
So when we ask you to subscribe, it's because we need the
algorithm. When it comes down to it, we need algorithms to work for us to help us. And what that does is push it out to more people so that more people can see it. So that maybe we get more likes, comments, subscribes, whatever the case is. I know we're rambling on about like, hey, we really need support or help us support, but we really do need it. Like, It helps us. It helps us a lot. Not to say we're going away if you don't. We're just saying maybe we can bring better things to you if you do.
So should I share with them what I said to you when we first started this podcast? Does it matter?
Yeah.
Is that something
what about we talked about earlier today?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I mean, I'll say it. So Jimmy and I started this podcast. All right, let me explain why we started the podcast. I said that when I hit 10,000 followers on Facebook, I was going to start a podcast. I don't know what I was thinking when I said that, but here I am. Did the first podcast. Jimmy was my first podcast interview. We had such a good time that I said, hey, let's do this together. And
no. That's not what. I just did so damn well that he was like, I can't do this shit without you.
Let me clarify.
Go ahead. No, that's not really what happened.
No, but we had such, it was just like cameras turned off. We looked at each other. That was cool.
Matter of fact, go back and look at it and see how it's evolved because that was, it's called public land hunting etiquette, I think is what it was over.
Probably my favorite content we've put out together because you were very informative on public hunting. I think you did
I've done a lot of it.
You did such a good job.
We gonna do it again, Ben?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there.
Okay.
I think you did such a good job that people copied us.
So maybe I know what you're talking about here,
but I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Let me go back. So we had such a good time. We did this podcast together. Man, that was cool. Let's do it again. We should just do this together. We'll call it the Cast and Blast podcast. All right, cool. As you guys know, it was the Poodle Pinche Cast and Blast podcast. Now we're the Cast and Blast podcast. Cast and Blast is Jimmy and myself. We're the Cast and Blast crew. We get out there. We're guiding hunts. We're fishing. All we do is fish and hunt, cast and blast.
How many does it take to make a crew?
I don't know.
2. Because that's all we have.
That's it. That's it. There's not a team behind us that we put this stuff and upload it on a drive, and there's a team behind us taking the product and editing it and sending it to this.
Making all this shit.
This right here.
We built it.
I got to give it to Angel. Angel is our he's part of the crew.
Exactly.
But, he's also a contractor who's very busy working on so many other projects, but he did help us build the Wall of Death. We call it the Wall of Death, not because there's
a reason
taxidermy on it. We call it the Wall of Death because it almost killed us moving it in and out of a building.
Down a couple flights of stairs.
Flights of stairs. So different story for a different podcast.
These deer didn't kill themselves. That turkey didn't kill themselves. That duck didn't, it didn't fly here and land on there.
No. That Poodle Pinche low fence sticker didn't get there by itself.
Oh shit! You let the cat out of the bag now.
Nobody had mentioned it, but hey, you guys, if you know, you know.
Long story short, once again, we're gonna say if you can, please just support. That's all we're saying. We're not going anywhere, even if you don't. We're just saying we would very much appreciate it.
So what I was gonna say was,
I cut you off, didn't I? I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. We just lost what we were gonna say. Because we were so excited about the journey. I said when we started this, we're going to give the same effort if we have 1 follower or if we have 1 million followers.
Yeah.
That 1 follower is going to get the best that we have to offer. They're going to get the best content we know we can give. We're going to give the best effort that we can give, even if it's just that 1 follower. That 1 follower is going to.
They deserve it.
They're going to get our best.
You get the 1,000,000%,
and
that's it.
Not to say that our best is the best, but our best is our best. That's all we can do.
Well, it's the best we can do. Yeah, it's what we can do right now. So
I only got so many Modelo's I can drink.
Yeah, Modelo. Oh, we're mixing Coors and Modelo today, huh?
Yeah, well,
let the party happen.
Yeah, but that's what we're. If that says anything about us, that's what we're going to give you guys. We're going to do our best to give you the best, whether it's audio quality, whether it's video quality. Obviously, we can't afford a live producer to sit here and edit and all that stuff. We can't afford to pay anybody on a payroll and say, hey, can you take our video and turn it into viral content? We're trying to figure it out on ourselves.
Yeah, we'll do it. So for anybody watching right now, we'll go back into the Memorial Day. We were talking about being deployed and things that we've done. Does anybody have any questions about, like, would y'all like to ask us anything about, what a deployment's like? What is it that, maybe a soldier would go through on a deployment? Or, hell, I would even take a call. If somebody wanted to call in, and I know that, you don't have our numbers, but we can make that happen. We could do a call. I'm open for anything. And I'm just spitballing. None of this is ever scripted. Anytime we get on here, we just get on here and we just roll. Like, we don't know. So
we're still learning how to do this.
I just had a thought too, like maybe we set a day, maybe Veterans Day, right? Well, that's kind of in our busy season. I don't know. Maybe we'll say right before that, maybe dove season. Ben and I, we may just post, we could do like a grid, and we'll say, hey, we're going to be here. Not a grid, a coordinate. We'll drop a pin, and we'll share it on Facebook or something. We'll say, we're going to be here dove hunting. Just come join us. Everything's good. All you got to do is show up. And we could just be somewhere and see if anybody might show up. We'll see how many supporters we got. We're going to be out there just twiddling our thumbs, shooting dove alone.
Depending on the time, bro, it's going to be hot. We're going to be dying. But, yeah, man, it'll be fun. We always enjoy having people come out and joining us out in the field or on the water, man. Maybe we can do something where I don't know, clay shoot and fishing.
Laura, thanks for the support. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, says that she's visiting in West Texas. I think she's definitely not.
Berto, thanks for watching. Wendy, thanks for watching as well. We got some more. Chad Robbins, Victor Parker.
Man, we appreciate you guys. Again, if you are watching and you want to let us know where you're watching from, it just kind of lets us know where the reach is getting. And it kind of gives us an idea of what kind of content to post, because we live in the heart of Texas, right in the middle of Texas.
Yeah.
We are definitely sharing a lot of local events and local news and things like that. But if our reach is getting out to Saskatchewan, Canada,
beautiful. Have you been there in the summer?
I mean, it's gorgeous.
I haven't been there.
The dove hunting there is
I hear
amazing.
It's great.
But if you guys are, we might be doing an Alaska hunt or maybe a fishing trip.
Yeah, hunt or fish. I gotta start asking about that.
Where are we gonna do it, Jimmy? Be honest. When are we gonna do it? Where are we gonna fit the time? We can't even, like. There's people asking us, "Hey, I want to go fishing with you." We can't even squeeze that in. But
I'm trying to fit. I'm a new grandpa, and I'm trying to fit in when I'm gonna go see my grandbaby again. I've seen him.
Let's let Jimmy go see his grandkid.
Yeah.
Let's start a GoFundMe so we can get Jimmy to go see his.
Please. Yes.
Oh man. But guys, if you can't tell, we enjoy doing this. We enjoy having you guys on, as we call you guys our guests, because you're the biggest part of this podcast.
The crew, part of the crew.
You're part of the Cast and Blast crew. When we say join the crew, that's what it means. Join the podcast. Join us. You're part of the crew. Let us know in the comments what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We always take criticism to heart. We've had people tell us.
Well, when you say we take it to heart, we're very thick-skinned. We're not. We're not getting butthurt.
You ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
You ain't gonna hurt our feelings.
But there's something you could tell me that would help us get and improve this podcast. Like, I've had people tell me, you need to adjust this, you need to adjust that, do this, do that.
The lighting's off, the mics are off, the picture's off. Hey, we don't like that topic. What if there's topics out there? There's things that you would rather us cover.
If you want a podcast for episode and you say, hey, do one on
politics, let's do it.
I'm out. Politics and religion, I'm out.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking.
Not for any reason. I can dive into any one of those.
I know. I'm joking, but
I just feel like it's just like,
that's not what we're about.
we are about you. We are about our followers. We are about our subscribers. So we really appreciate your support. We really appreciate you guys engaging in anything that we put out there, whether it's...
We're still waiting on somebody to say, I want to be on the podcast. That's the thing. We've just been waiting on somebody to say it, and we're going to say, come on, man. We got open spots. We got more mics. We got more cameras. Come jump on.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to be on the podcast, we can even do something where we can share a link and we can bring you in, provided you have good
internet
service where you're
good
at,
internet service,
so that we can bring you in on a live feed and we can do that live. If you can't tell, we like doing live, uncensored podcasts.
Ben, should we disclose what we're talking about our summer project being?
No.
But wait, just wait. It's gonna be fun.
We've been seeing some stuff. We've been hearing some stuff.
Yeah. We're
not seeing. We're
well,
hearing.
Maybe. We're
I don't know.
kind of
We're
seeing.
looking.
We're looking. Maybe seeing some.
I think we're seeing.
You just gotta wait and see. It's gonna be good.
You guys, if you're not locked in by now, you'll be locked in after we drop some of that content.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. We got some things that we're working on.
What are you hitting me with down there? What is it?
Am I hitting you?
Yeah, I felt something hit my foot. Is that your big ass foot?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm
just getting excited. I'm sorry. I'll move the table here in a minute. Talking about this topic we're working on. But no, hey, if you're not locked in by now, what will it take to get you locked in? What will it take? For you to be subscribed, for you to be locked in, for you to be commenting every episode, for you to be sharing with your friends, for you to be, every time we post new content, you're in there like in the comments saying, yeah, we're going to be there. I see you. What you're doing, we like. Thank you for doing this. What will it take? Will it take us filming a live interaction with a UFO?
I'll go find one.
Will it take us...
We can hunt. We will hunt down a UFO.
Will it take us... finding Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster.
I've been to Scotland.
Chupacabra.
I've looked over the lake. I thought I was going to be the one that was going to see Nessie. I thought I was going to be the one.
Would you?
Nah, man. She wasn't nowhere around.
Oh.
I don't know.
Is she out there?
The legend says she is, but I didn't see her.
No.
No, I sure did look.
But
it was cool enough to say that I've been there and looked for old Nessie.
That's true.
I've looked for
I've
UFOs.
never been there.
How many times do you guys look up in the sky?
Every night.
But do you think that you look up in the sky enough to see UFOs? Because there's a lot out there. Here's my thing. If you're looking in the water, we're fishing.
Yeah.
There's species that you pull up that
look like aliens.
New species are getting discovered every day, right?
Yeah.
You can say. But there's depths of the ocean and
not in our neck of the woods.
Not in our neck of the woods, but there's depths of the ocean that, people are finding new kinds of species of fish that they've never seen.
Yeah, some of them are scary looking too.
Okay. Do you think that the water is bigger than the sky?
No.
It's not.
No.
How can there be more in the water than there is in the sky?
Well, so the water is right there. When you look at the water, it seems more achievable in my mind. When you look up, you can't see the end of the ocean either. And
what
I get
about
that,
the woods? Can you see the end of the woods?
Dude, I've walked some woods, and I've walked some so far that I never found the end of, and I was like, I got to turn around.
So will we ever know what's in the sky or what's in the woods?
Nah.
But we got things that
maybe in the woods, maybe. But there's still some questionable...
maybe we're dropping some hints to the people.
There's some questionable shit out in the woods. That's what I'm saying.
What kind of episodes they have to expect in the future. Question everything. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I got you. It's going to be fun. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be fun, and it's something that, for me, it goes all the way back to my teenage days. So I'm pretty excited about this.
Well,
and I'm old.
We're getting there, man.
So it's a long time. Dinosaur, goddamn, dinosaurs were probably.
We're looking for
alive
the
then.
new generation of the Cast and Blast crew. Who's going to take this? Who's going to take this over?
Who is going to take it on? Who is going to take it on? I don't know, man.
We're not taking applications yet because we haven't got there. But
I still got a little color in my beard. It's not all gray. When it all goes
guys,
gray,
don't let the color fool you. This is the only color they had. All right.
yeah, that's my man right there.
This is the only
That's
color
all
they had at the time.
That's all they had
You know
in
what I'm saying?
stock. We had to get the gray.
I gotta go with this. I do think that if we dyed our beard like black, like who's
Should
that
we?
guy? Who's that guy? Diesel or whatever.
Vin Diesel?
No. I would never.
I don't.
I
watch,
would never compare myself to Vin Diesel, bro.
I don't watch a lot of TV
No, that
or
dude who
anything.
does it,
I
like
don't-
the truck giveaways and all that stuff. The Diesel Brothers or something.
Oh, Heavy D Sparks. Yeah, Dave Sparks.
He's got a real dark beard.
Yeah.
I feel like if our beard was just as dark as his,
Let's dye our beards. Let's dye our
done.
beards.
Let's just dye our beards dark.
We need one person to comment, dye your beards, and we'll do it.
Like, I mean, is it a thing? Like, does it matter? If I'm gray in the beard, would you not pay attention? But if I had a really dark beard, like,
I don't know.
you know what I mean? Does it matter?
So if we look younger, will we be more relevant?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, that's
I think we've kind of passed the shelf life of
we're that
talking
old.
up.
We're those has-beens.
we
We're-
should be talking with a Tennessee hat, and be like, on today's episode of Fishing with Jimmy and Ben.
So that's a bad thing,
There's Jimmy getting close to the riverbank. You never know what kind of things he's gonna find.
Taking it all the way back to Bill. I don't know, man. Maybe we're too old for this.
I don't know, man.
If we are, I don't give it. I said it
Bill
earlier.
was doing it.
I said it earlier. I
Roland
don't,
Martin was doing it.
dude, Roland Martin still. Jimmy still.
Jimmy
Hey,
Houston still.
Who
out
am
there
I?
doing it. Jimmy, bro. You're another Jimmy.
Just another Jimmy, right?
Just another Jimmy.
Just another. That sounds bad, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Well,
Dye your beards.
Who
No,
said
you.
Who said that? Who said it? Tell me. It matters who.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Sarah.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. Well, we got to do it.
Well, you got to pay for it then, Sarah. You got to buy it.
Let us know in the comments if you want us to dye our beards and what color you want us to dye it. Because on the next episode of the Cast and Blast podcast,
Ben's going to have a rainbow beard.
I was just about to say Jimmy was.
I had to beat you to the
Yeah.
punch.
But no, yeah, I do think it has. I think being gray in the beard has a little something to do with it.
You know
people
what?
are like,
I just think it's a little more wisdom is all.
Yeah,
that's all it
seniority.
shows. Yeah, it shows that like, damn, they've been around, seen some shit. They probably
man,
know
they
something.
Probably seen Bigfoot. They probably seen a UFO.
Probably
They
have.
probably seen Loch Ness monster.
Probably seen it.
They probably caught a 61-pound catfish.
Or bigger. 64. I'm just saying.
Who's counting?
Who's counting?
They probably caught a potential record.
Lake record.
Yeah, lake record. They probably have skinned and cleaned and quartered.
A Brazilian deer.
Yeah. They probably done it.
So I think that's like the third Brazilian reference.
You have
that's
thrown
an
it out a lot.
Yeah,
but there's a reason.
That's an inside. I got to just say it's an
Go
inside
ahead.
joke.
Yeah,
so
you got to let
everybody
know what
knows.
people are talking about because they're probably like, why does this guy keep, what is his deal in Brazilians?
So-
and his wife is going to kill him if he keeps referencing Brazilians.
Yeah, don't look at my internet history. No.
Search
So
history.
I got to say, all right, Brazilian. So has anybody ever been out when it's really cold, right? You've been out in the cold for a long time and you're trying to talk, like your tongue and your lips don't work correctly. We were out on one of those hunts and I can't remember who the first time it was when I
think it was Jim Kelly.
It was
I
Jim
think it was our
Kelly.
buddy
Yeah,
Jim-
yeah. It was Jim
was our
Kelly.
buddy Jim
yeah.
Kelly.
It was Jim Kelly. Yeah. So we were talking about rabbits, and we were out on the ranch, and he's like, "Man,
And
there's
you guys got a lot of rabbits because we're hunting at night and we're hunting with thermals.
yeah, we're hunting at nights, hunting with thermals.
Shout out to Feral Texas Outdoors.
Thank you." And so we see all these rabbits. Anywhere you look around with a thermal, you're seeing rabbits. And he's like, "Man, y'all got a lot of rabbits." And I was like, "Yeah, man, there's a Brazilian of them." I meant to say a bazillion. That's not even a real word either, but slang for like, damn, there's a lot of rabbits out here. But I said Brazilian rabbits. And he was like, "Dude, what? Y'all got Brazilian rabbits here?" So that's where that Brazilian comes from.
What's a Brazilian rabbit?
I don't know, man, but it was cold, or I can't remember. It was cold that night, right?
It was
And
cold.
it was cold. My lips weren't working right.
Have you ever been out in the cold and you had an allergy fit and you use ice cubes to rinse your eyes out?
No, but I was in NTC and I busted a chem light and I went and took a piss and it really hurt my pee-pee. That's weird, right?
I've seen somebody get the chem light in their eyes.
No, don't. If you get chem light juice on your your fingers,
if it's plural,
yeah, don't go pee. Don't go pee. It's worse. It's worse than peppers. I had that happen. I pulled my pants down. We were setting up a tent. Just got there, right? We jumped.
Where are we going with this, dude?
I don't know, man.
You're talking about pulling your pants down.
I don't know.
A lot.
If anybody knows what a chem light is, it busted. The chem light juice got on my hands.
Keyword chem.
I went to go pee, and it hurt real bad. That's all I'm going to say. Everybody seen my dick that day.
Was it glowing?
No, it started burning. So you remember the porta-johns they would put out there, and they would have a water can turned upside down, and then like a piece of rope that was hanging off, or a piece of soap on a rope that was hanging off to wash your hands. So I ran over there to that, and I just dropped trowel, and I just poured that water on me, and then I took that soap, and I'm scrubbing, and then I'm pouring water on me again.
Wasting water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got recircumcised.
That's tough, man.
Anyways, yeah, enough about that. Oh, my God, my aunt's watching. I heard that. I'm sorry, Aunt Regina. I'm sorry.
Oh, man, that sucks.
It happened.
But, yeah. That's what happens on a live and uncensored podcast.
Back to Memorial Day.
Let's get back to... Yeah.
It's coming.
I do want to say we did start this off on a serious note. We ended off on, a light note, and that's really what this is about. Really, you're going to go out and you're going to enjoy the weekend. You're going to go out and you're going to enjoy whether you're getting out on the lake, pulling your boat out. You're planning right now I'm taking the family out, or I'm just going out and I'm going to power fish this weekend. I got some time to myself. I'm taking the camper and we're going to this location. I'm taking the kids and we're going to backyard grill and do all those kind of things. Mm-hmm. You're going to do all that. And I want you to.
Yes. I just want you to take that 1 minute, though.
Yeah. I just want you to remember why we get a chance to celebrate this.
Even, most Memorial Day gatherings, most Memorial Day includes gatherings of people. So if you take that 1 minute and you just stop what you're doing and remember what Memorial Day is about, if you can do it with your entire crowd, your gathering, that's great. Do that. But if you can't, it's okay to do it alone. It's okay to do it by yourself. It's okay to just, if someone's talking and you say, just give me a minute, I'm just going to go stand over here in a moment of silence, and I'm going to think about those that gave me the right to do what we are all doing right now. I'm just going to take that time.
I feel like you've done your part.
Yeah.
I think we can't ask you to go and put on the uniform and go and make the ultimate sacrifice. Wouldn't ask you to do that.
No.
That comes on your own there. I couldn't ask you to go and lay your life on the line when you haven't even committed to serving the country. I wouldn't ask you to do that. There's a certain breed of people that were born to do that. But it's not asking much to sit there and take just a minute.
Just a minute, man. 1 minute out of the whole year. 1 minute.
Remember why we get a chance to have this holiday, why we get a chance to have that long weekend, why we have a chance to,
And for those of you that say America sucks, America's horrible,
there's a million people waiting in line to take your place.
There is a Brazilian amount of people in line to take your place. But not only that is, for you to even say it out loud, those people that died gave you that right to even say it out loud. So I don't know how you could say how it's bad, how America is bad out loud.
Could be worse.
Could be worse.
I'll admit, could be better.
There's a lot of things that could be better, but
just keep in mind.
There's no other nation on this earth that is better than the nation you're in right now if you're in America. No one. Nowhere. Change my mind. You won't.
Yeah,
you can't change my mind. I will die on this hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same. So keep that in mind. You're out there. you're enjoying your weekend. And we encourage you to do that. We want you to go out there. We want you to get
Buck,
on the
what's
water.
up, my man?
We got Buck on?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
My man.
Another brother that served with us in uniform. Still serving to this day.
Still there, man.
We're waiting for him to retire so he can come and join the cast.
He wants to go be Sergeant Major Buckholz.
Yeah, well, congratulations, man.
I love you, man.
Earned it. We're following you along that journey. Proud of you.
Super proud of you.
And for what it's worth, brother.
Can't wait to give you a hug, man.
It couldn't be anyone more deserving. Straight up.
Nope.
But with that said, we did what we thought was take a little time today in honor of the fallen. This was a Memorial Day special episode of the Cast and Blast podcast.
A little different this time.
It started off rough. I had to get through some moments, but we got through them. We had some ups. We had some downs. That's the norm
That's the roller coaster.
the emotional roller coaster you were
That's
talking
the way it
about.
goes.
So we shared that with you guys live. This isn't edited. This isn't cut. This isn't
Scripted.
This isn't chopped.
This is
Screwed.
This is Ben and Jimmy saying, "Hey, we're gonna do Memorial Day, and we're just gonna sit down.
the best way we can.
We're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk, and that's it.
The best way we can.
I had
mean,
no
obviously,
idea what he was gonna say. He had no idea what I was gonna say. We just knew Memorial Day. That's it. That's all we need.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate all you watching too. And if you're not watching live, we appreciate everybody that will watch this video. And we thank you for the support and the time that you gave us. And we just ask wholeheartedly, 26 May, take 1 minute out of the day, just have a moment of silence and think about those that have, fallen for this country.
That's it, man. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Laters.
Did you have fun?
Still on.
Okay.
That's right. We're still on, right?
Oh, let me turn this.
We're going to dye our